Oh, and we're going.
Okay.
We're gonna get. Golly, I am tired. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite film podcast, The Average Film Enjoyer. We are your hosts, Trey. I'm Trey, and I'm here with Jagger today. Evan, unfortunately, could not join us this week, but he will be back next week, which is a stacked week for movies. So yeah, it's just gonna be me and Jagger today. Sorry we're a day late. We both started school yesterday.
Yes, we did.
I am a freshman in college, and Jagger is a freshman in high school, moving on up in the world. So I had a crap ton of homework, and tonight just worked better for the both of us.
Yes.
So yeah, before we get into anything, upcoming episodes. So next week, I believe for IMDb is our Nemo and Rashomon episode, which that duo goes kind of crazy.
Finding Nemo and Rashomon's great.
And then our Carpenter movies for that, I'm very unprepared at the moment. Here's my letterboxd.
I think it's Escape from New York.
Yeah, I think it's the Escape trilogy or duo.
The duology of Peak and then not Peak.
Yeah, so next week we have Escape from New York and Escape from LA. And then we got the week after, we have this time I think we're just gonna, because we're already, the next movie in the IMDb Top 250 is The Thing, but we're already doing that next week, the week after.
So we'll find a movie to replace it.
We don't have to, we can just skip it.
Oh, we could skip it, yeah.
Yeah, so the week after will be, The Great Escape, which I've never seen, but I've heard great things about. Yeah. And then Kill Bill.
Volume 1, right?
Yeah, which I love. And then our IMDb movies will be The Thing, and Jay's coming on for this one, correct? Am I correct in saying that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be The Thing and Christine. Or are we doing The Thing and They Live? What did Jay say?
I love They Live.
What did Jay say he wanted to do?
I mean, I could probably also... I have another guest I could reach out to for The Thing. I mean, we could... for They Live. I know a really, really cool guy, and I'm not going to name names yet, just in case we don't get it. I'm not making the Edgar mistake again.
Yeah. Okay.
I have in mind.
Yeah, so the week after that, we will do The Thing and They Live, another Peak double feature, along with Kill Bill and The Great Escape. So that's kind of what we got coming up right now. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like the video, comment down below what your favorite Carpenter movie is. And what your thoughts on Halloween are, because we talked about that last week, I believe, and we had very differing opinions between the three of us. All three of us feel very differently about it. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on Halloween as a film, and maybe just the Halloween franchise as a whole. And check out our merch. Again, spooky season is coming up, guys. You got to get your spooky season Average Film Enjoyer merch. afepod.com. All one word. Go check us out. Jagger creates all of our merch. We got some great stuff on there. Maybe we'll do a spooky Halloween code. Do you know how to do that? Like a sale?
I do know how to do a promo code. Yes, I do.
Maybe we'll keep it up for like a week for people that tune in.
For the whole month. Make money.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's what we got coming up. We are very excited. This consistently is the part of my week I look forward to the most.
Absolutely.
I know it's the same for Jagger and Evan. We've all talked about. I feel like I'm at the point where I can say stuff and be like, "Yeah, I know Jagger and Evan feel this way," because we all know each other so well.
Yeah.
Which is great. I always think like when I see podcasts, I'm like, I wonder if these guys are like friends outside of the podcast, and the three of us are like best friends outside of the podcast. Like we
Yeah,
talk
dude.
like every day.
Yeah.
Little tidbit for you listeners out there. Yeah, like Evan's already like, dude, you're coming to my wedding. You're gonna be my best man, and I'm like, dude, of course. We've never met in person, but yeah. Yeah, none of us have met in person. We might make that happen in the next year. I might try to convince Evan to fly with me to New York to see Jagger's new movie.
No, or Pitchfork Retreat, whichever comes out first. God knows if the home exists anymore. That's like lost media. I don't know where that thing is.
It's like Tim Burton's Superman movie with Nick Cage. So that's what we got coming up right now. We're going to get into today's episode. Before we get into it, we got to know how we're doing, you know? So Jagger, you started school this week at an arts high school. Sounds very exciting. How's your week been? How's the first couple of days of school been?
They've been good. The teacher's really awesome. I'll get into him a little bit later when I talk about Cecil B. Demented, because he was like an editor on that. He's worked with a bunch of great directors. So yeah, I mean, it's just been an honor to even be there, and everything's been going pretty well for me.
That's
How
awesome.
about you? How about you?
It's good. Yeah, I started school this week. I haven't started any of my like film based classes yet, which is kind of shitty. I'm doing like this summer program because for college classes don't start till like the end, like September 31st or something.
Really?
So I'm doing this thing called Summer Scholars, and it's basically for people who have had more than 1 year off from graduating
Oh,
high
like a gap.
school
Yeah.
or finished high school with less than a 3.0 GPA, which I apply to both. Ya boy wasn't great at high school. 2.8, baby! So I only have two classes, and they're each like 2.5 hours, and I have them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. And one is like academic success, which just teaches you like skills on how to be a college student and stuff like that. And then one is more they have like different pathways. It's called a pathway. It's like a group of majors that are all kind of similar. So mine is like the creative, like design, creativity, and arts pathway. So it's all the artsy kids. And so I'm in a class with a bunch of people from my pathway. And there's a couple film majors in there. I'm not the only one. It's been really cool because up until now, the only people that have been able to keep up with me on knowledge level of like just knowing films have been online friends, you know? But like I got into a whole conversation with a few people about the best horror franchises in class yesterday, which was totally awesome. We talked about Jason X. Because someone was asking a few of us, like, what's the best horror franchise? And I was like, well, you got your main four. You got Scream, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Halloween. But then you got stuff like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, VHS. And then we just started going like, oh, you remember that one scene in this one movie? Like how me, you, and Evan do. And it was awesome to be able to sit like in a room with someone and do that, you know? So that was super cool. Met some good people. I commute to school, so I take public transportation. My walk to school today was more of a success than yesterday. I only saw one pile of poop on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I only saw one person shooting up heroin. So, real step
Yeah.
up from yesterday. If you don't live in like a big city, you won't get that, but that is a very common theme. Sidewalk poop and heroin. Jagger knows. Jagger was a New Yorker for a little bit.
Yes, I was.
Not any now. Not anymore. Now he lives in Jersey. You live in Jersey, right?
Yeah, I'm a Jersey
Yeah.
boy.
How do you like living in Jersey compared to living in New York?
Um, I don't know, man. Suburbs are nice. Suburbs are nice.
Yeah.
It's a little bit farmy, a little bit rednecky.
Yeah.
So it comes with its problems, but I mean, compared to city stuff, a lot easier. A lot easier.
That's nice. Um.
But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, city stuff sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my week's been going good. I've just been doing that. Today's my birthday, so I had dinner with the fam. Um, Turning 21. I think I've talked about this on the
Woo!
pod. I don't drink at all. So, like I'm not gonna go out and party or anything. I'm gonna go to the pinball arcade tomorrow and spend the day there, and then Friday, me and my dad are gonna go play poker. So that's
Cool.
about it. Yeah, that's all I got going on. Um, but let's get into it. We're going to do movie news today. We haven't done movie news in a while. We're just going to cover the big stuff. And I'm really having a hard time sitting back so I'm not as loud. Let's see here. Let me pull up my movie news.
While you pull that up, it has been 6 months since you played Blackjack Championships, and today you returned.
I did. Did you get a Steam notification?
No, I didn't get a Steam notification. I opened Discord, and at the top, like in big text, it says Trey, the film noob, returned to Blackjack Championship after 6 months.
Yeah, I was playing it during class.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Movie news. Well, we got a trailer. Let's go over trailers first while we look at headlines.
Oh no.
We got a trailer for the Minecraft movie.
Peak.
It definitely looks interesting.
It doesn't look real. That movie doesn't exist.
Yeah, it looks like if AI made a movie.
Jason Momoa is dressed up as Dora the Explorer. The creepers have fur, and Jack Black is wearing a blue sweatshirt.
There you go. That's the whole. You don't even need to go watch the trailer now.
Yeah. But
Um,
the CGI doesn't look bad.
it doesn't look bad, but it's also just like the design is awful.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. We also got a trailer for Smile 2. Jagger is infamously not a fan of the first one, but you said you're looking forward to this new one. This trailer looks good.
This trailer looks awesome.
Yeah. I'm quite excited. I love the first one. Me and Evan both do. And the lead actress who's in it was my childhood crush. So 2 thumbs up. She was in the Power Rangers movie I went and saw in the theaters in middle school, and she played the Pink Ranger. And yeah, she was in that movie, and that movie was good. Let's see. Lady Gaga says her take on Harley Quinn came from her experience with mania and chaos inside. 2 thumbs up from Trey. The more headlines I read about the upcoming Joker movie, the more excited I get for it. I'm not the biggest fan of the first one, but I am excited for this one.
I am a fan of the first one, and I am equally excited for this one.
I am a fan of Joaquin Phoenix in that movie. I am not a fan of the fact that it's basically the king of comedy.
That's That's all. None of that. I can't fight any of that. But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is great in it. Joaquin Phoenix is great.
Yeah. It's just there's so many ways and so many different stories and so many different levels of realism that you could have told about like the Joker's origins, and you decide to do something that someone has already done in cinema. It's just kind of goofy to me.
Joaquin
Um,
Phoenix gives the second best Joker performance in that movie, in my opinion.
who's the first best Joker?
Jack Nicholson.
Good lord. I wish I
Dude,
had
the
never asked that.
eyebrows, they sell it, man. Jack Nicholson's eyebrows sell insanity in everything
That
he
is
does.
crazy. That is a crazy take.
No, he's so good in it. Heath Ledger's third, though. Heath Ledger's third.
That
So,
is wild. That is. I.
all right.
I can't handle you sometimes. Um. I don't know. Beetlejuice is coming out next week.
I thought that was this week.
This week. Is it this
Oh,
week?
yeah.
Oh, I'm quite excited for this. I love the OG Beetlejuice. Big time Halloween vibes on that one. So yeah, I'm quite excited. I think Jenna Ortega was like born for this role.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there was the Toronto Film Festival.
Saturday
When
night premiered there as well after Venice. Everyone loves
yeah,
it.
yeah, everyone loves Saturday Night, which is great to hear because I think we are all pretty excited for that as big fans of the film, or not the film, the TV show. Um, I don't know, man. There's just not that there. There hasn't been that much movie news this week. Instead of besides like trailers that have come out and Toronto Film Festival. Um, I have one more thing, but is there any last things you want to cover?
Yeah, hold on, wait. I I had a thing. I just need to find it. Hold on. Shoot. Okay. Beetlejuice debuted with a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's pretty
Hell
cool.
yeah, hell yeah.
Selena Gomez has two standout moments in Amelia Perez, especially with the song El Camino that could have Academy Award voters respond to her work. So, potential Oscar nom for Selena Gomez. Very
Hell
cute.
yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio announces that he has always wanted to play the Swamp Thing. No matter what, regardless of what that means for anything, it's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that is very cool.
Luca Guadagnino announced that he will be working on a DC movie.
I don't
Luca
hate that.
Guadagnino superhero movie. I'm down
It
for that.
depends. It depends on the movie,
It
and
depends.
as long as he's given creative freedom to not make a DC movie, but to make a Luca Guadagnino movie that
Yeah,
happens to take place in the DC universe.
that's what I want. The Wizards of Waverly Place sequel series will have 21 episodes for anyone interested in that.
Hell yeah.
Um, Harmony Korine's Baby Invasion received an 8.5 minute standing ovation at Venice. Uh,
Of
it
course.
it takes place in a first person shooter video game where people have baby heads.
Okay, that sounds kind of sick, actually. I'm not the biggest Corinne guy, but I'm quite excited for that now.
And
That sounds goofy as hell.
it seems like that's about it. But I'm very excited for Baby Invasion.
Yeah, that sounds sick. Last thing I had was I wanted to ask you: have you seen the trailer for the new Amy Adams movie Night Bitch?
No, but I did see the new trailer for The Substance ahead of Strange Darling. And dude, I heard someone
Okay,
on TikTok refer to it as the middle ground between Requiem for a Dream and Basket Case. Don't know what that
that is wild.
means. But I am so here for that. But wait. What's the Amy Adams movie? What's it about?
It's about this. It's a good trailer, so I don't really know what it's about. It looks to be like a thriller, like dark comedy type deal. It's about a mom who's like a single, like working mom. Um,
A
and
woman
it,
thrown into the stay-at-home routine of raising a toddler in the suburbs slowly embraces the feral power deeply rooted in motherhood, as she becomes increasingly aware of the bizarre and undeniable signs that she may be turning into a dog.
yes, that's what it's about.
All right.
It
Okay.
looks really good, and I'm down for anything Amy Adams. I think she's an
Fred
incredible
McNary.
actress. Yeah, he's in it as well.
Very cool. Very, very
Uh,
cool. Week for the news this week. Very good. Very strong.
yeah. Why don't you kick us off with your watch list, Jagger? What'd you watch this week?
All right. So I'm gonna go back to second viewing of Long Legs. Okay, after that, I watched Adam Sandler, Love You. Not very good. Not very funny. I was very sad. I gave it 3 stars because it opens in a very, very Safdie Brothers manner, and the rest of it was just sort of meh. It had one joke that lingered way too long and really didn't need to.
Okay,
Then I
fair point.
logged Total Forgiveness, which is a miniseries that I watched a while ago. And it's on dropout.tv, the website. 4.5. I think it is fantastic. It's only a couple of episodes. I watched it all in one night, but it is great. Then I watched Chris Grace's Scarlett Johansson, which I really hope comes up during award season. It is a comedy special where Chris Grace, who is an Asian man, dresses up and does a biography play about Scarlett Johansson.
Hell
But it's
yeah.
actually a methodical breakdown of systemic racism in Hollywood, and it's almost Lynchian. It is great. Please give that a watch. Dropout.tv. It'll cost you $5.99, and it is maybe one of the best comedy specials I've ever seen. Give it a 4.5. Fantastic.
Yeah.
After this, I went to the theaters to see Strange Darling. I passed up a Dolby ticket of Alien Romulus and switched it out for this movie last minute. I have never been so mad at myself in my life. Strange Darling is a perfectly fine thriller. My dad gave it a 4.5. I gave it a 3. It's a little predictable. It has a great scene starring Ed Begley Jr., who is fantastic in this
Love
movie.
Ed Bedgley Jr.
uh, Willa Fitzgerald, I think her name is. Hope I'm not butchering that. Great. Kyle Gallner, also great. And Giovanni Ribisi, I believe, does the cinematography.
Gah!
He
Dude,
does
we
the
love
cinematography.
Giovanni Ribisi.
Dude, this movie should work. A lot of the acting's great, the script is great, everything should work, but there's some spark here that needed to be found that it just couldn't find. And then the movie ended, and it was like, dang, that had so much potential to be amazing, and it
Yeah.
just. But everyone seems to love this movie, so go watch it. I maybe I'm wrong. Sometimes I am. Usually I am. So give it a shot. um, then I watched Miss Congeniality. Movie bangs. I gave it a 3 because it's it's a little bit, but for what it needs to be, it's perfect, and it needs to be a 3-star film. That's what this movie
Hell
can
yeah.
do, and it does it great. Batman Dead End is an 8-minute short film about Batman in an alleyway, and he's fighting the Joker, and then something happens. I showed this to my 8-year-old brother who loves the Batman and the icons of cinema. Dude,
Yeah.
you are not ready for what happens after the 3-minute mark in this movie. The next 5 minutes are the most off the walls, bonkers stuff you've ever heard of in your life. After this is a conversation we had to have for a couple of minutes. Monkey Man. Dude.
Dude, I don't when you said how why are people sleeping on this? I don't think people are. That
No,
was
no, no.
pretty
Not
well
sleeping. Not
received.
sleeping. I said, why are people gatekeeping this movie from me? Because I heard a couple
Oh,
of people talk about it when it first came out, and then I heard nothing, and I thought oh, that movie must not have been great. Dude.
it's gas. You watched
Dude,
it like a day after I did. It is
no, I
straight
watched.
gas.
I saw you give it a 5, and I saw your review, and I was like, okay, I got to check this out, and I watched it. Oh my god,
It's
dude,
incredible, dude.
this is one of the best action movies I've seen in a long time. In a long time.
And it's Dev Patel's like directorial debut.
Yeah, dude, and the cinematography's insane.
Yeah. The I think my favorite part, I'll just count this for my Monkey Man review. My
Okay.
favorite part was the final fight scene, the one-on-one between him and the chief,
Dude.
because Dev Patel is just standing there so casually, just like dodging punches and just like and then just like bam bam, and I'm just like, oh, inject this into my veins. Oh my god, dude. And the soundtrack, dude, everything about that movie is just awesome.
This movie it's just so much juice. It's just so
Yeah.
much juice.
And it's one of the more progressive movies of 2024.
Right, Dad? I can hear the TV. Can you close the door, please?
Say hi to your dad for me.
You hear that? No, this door. Just keep it closed. Bye.
Um,
Okay, my next
and
one.
it's genuinely one of the most progressive movies of this year that I've seen.
Yeah.
When is the last time you saw an entire squad of trans people show up and just throw shit down?
I haven't seen it before, but I'm very happy I saw it.
Dude,
It was cool.
What do you think about its rewatchability? I think it has pretty high rewatchability. It's an easy watch.
I would have no
Not
issue
too many.
again. It's
N-
only
They're
like
they're
around 2 hour mark.
yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was incredible. All right, keep going.
My next one. I've been reading a lot more than I ever have recently. And I'm currently sort of juggling between Bram Stoker's Dracula and American Prometheus. I just need to single one out. Because American Prometheus is long. So I just wanted to read a book and watch like a bad movie. So I threw on 50 Shades, expecting it to be terrible. Because that movie doesn't have a good reputation at all. I don't know if I'm insane or what. It was pretty good. In like an unironic way, I really didn't mind it.
Were
It's
you
like,
actually paying attention?
yes, I was. Because after about 5 minutes, I was like, wait a minute. I don't hate this. So then I put the book down for a while. And then I just read after. I mean, like, honestly, that's what happens. My issue, I can't multitask at all. So I was either
Yeah.
going to read the book or watch the movie. And I didn't realize that I have no ability to do two things at once. So
Yeah, me and Evan both do. Like I'm playing video games right now while recording.
yeah, I just can't.
I mean,
do
that's
it.
what I usually do, but
Yeah, but I can't do it, man. I'm really bad
yeah.
at it. So I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
and Dakota
From,
Johnson is in that movie.
she is in that movie. She is. She's
She
all over
is
the movie.
she is in that movie, man. And you know, I don't mind that she's in that movie. She might be the only good part of the movie.
No, have you seen it?
No, I haven't. Should I watch it?
It's
Should I
not
give
that
it a
bad.
chance?
It's really not that bad. It is Jamie Dornan a little bit creepy? Yes. But does it take around an hour to actually get to any of the sexual content? Also, yes.
Is
Um,
there a lot of sexual content?
Between the 1 and 2 hour mark,
Yeah.
unhealthy amount of it.
You're like, it went from a pretty good movie to basically a porno.
Yeah, I mean, like, it has a 1.8 average.
Okay.
I'm aware of that. It's not very well received. I gave it a 3-star. Like, honestly, does it have a couple of cheesy moments of you can't hide stuff from me. That's not what relationships are about. Yes. It is a little bit corny. But like if you put aside the mediocre at best dialogue, it has a great soundtrack. It has an interesting story. The chemistry's not perfect. But is it terrible? Not necessarily. I mean, I've seen worse. Like, with what I expected this movie to be, it was a lot better. So I'd say give it a shot for any reason you'd like.
I trust this about as much as I trust your Twilight takes.
Hey, dude. Hey, the Twilight movies, really good. They're really good. They
But
are.
you think those are really good in the way that you think The Room is really good.
I know, and I do think the first one is actually incredible. I do think the first Twilight movie is actually good. In an unironic sense, I think there are things about it that are strong. The rest of them, terrible. Absolutely horrible.
My dreams are still haunted by the CGI baby.
Wait, what's the baby's name again?
I don't even remember, dude.
Renesmee. Renesmee.
God, that's so awful. What an awful name.
But this movie, in an unironic sense, the first hour is actually pretty great. First hour would be a solid 3.5 for me. But then after that, it dissolved into a corny porny madness, and it wasn't great. Not great at all.
Then maybe I'll give it a chance.
I'd say give it a shot. My next one, Black Friday, starring Bruce Campbell. This movie and go and burn. I gave it a 12 out of 100. It is unwatchable. Have you seen it?
All right. No, I've not.
Part of me thinks you'd really like it.
Hell yeah.
Like it in like a bad way. A group of toy store employees must protect each other from a horde of parasite-infected shoppers.
Yes, that's and it's Bruce Campbell. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, but Bruce Campbell is sort of just in it as a grumpy old man that doesn't fight. Like, it's not the Ash Williams spinoff that I was expecting it to be, sadly.
Yeah.
So I looked back and realized it had been almost a month since I've watched a new movie that I gave a 5-star. A new movie that I hadn't seen before. So I was like, oh man, I gotta watch something great. So I threw on a movie that my teacher edited called Cecil B. Demented. This is a John Waters movie, who, if you don't know who John Waters is, that's probably for the best. But
And guess what, guys? It's not the guy from Pink Floyd.
It's not. It's not. It is the guy who directed Hairspray, Polyester, Cecil B. Demented, Serial Mom, Cry Baby, Multiple Maniacs, Female Trouble, and Pink Flamingos. The guy has a very, very up and down lineup. 3 of those I am making the voluntary decision to not touch for a long time because I've heard a couple things about a couple of those that are like, ooh, thank you. But this movie, in my opinion, is maybe the greatest comedy film I've ever seen. There are a bunch of references to like David Lynch, Pedro Almodovar, Pier Paolo Pasolini. There's a whole bit about Pasolini in this movie. And this is a movie that is made to show love to the art of the midnight movie and like cult films. And it's about a group of like guys who want to make like a low budget movie. So they kidnap an Oscar-winning actress and force her to do it. And it is fantastic. I give it a 99 out of 100. If you are a fan of John Waters and you haven't seen it before, it is the John Waters 8.5. Like, this is a movie that is a fictitious version of his career. Like, slightly changed character-wise, what actually happened versus the perception of what actually happened. Exaggerations of things that he had done on previous sets. It is great. Please give it a shot. My next one, another great movie, Cruel Intentions, 4.5. This movie is awesome. Not awesome in like a, oh, that was so cool way. Awesome in like a, that was really great. Then a movie we're talking about, The Infernal Cauldron, is a 2-minute George Méliès film. I think it is great. I love George Méliès, his stuff. 1903. It's cool. I rewatched Longlegs, and I have one frame from this movie that, in my opinion, brought it from a 4 to a 4.5. This is the frame I was waiting to show.
Oh, yeah.
That one moment brought this movie up a whole half a star. I don't know why I had skimmed over it so much. Like, I didn't even really notice that it was there. That's peak horror acting, if you ask me. And then last thing, The Graduate. The Graduate is Mike Nichols, who's one of my favorite directors. I've been fighting for him to have a thing on the deep dive forever.
We put him on the last poll.
No, wait, I had submitted him for like 3 polls before that. I've submitted him in every poll since Kubrick.
What? No, you always do, what's his face?
Wong Kar-wai, I do as well.
Yeah.
I do a couple of dudes. Mike Nichols is on there. You can go back, check the record. He's on there. I love Mike Nichols. But, yeah, great movie. 4.5. I took way too long on that. Go ahead.
That's all good, dude. Alright, let me pull out the old watch list. Or the old diary. I'm just going to let you guys know ahead of time. This will most likely come out on Friday because it is late and I don't want to record tonight. Or I don't want to edit tonight. Because I'm not in the mood. So, and I'm tired. And I just want to lay back and watch a couple films. Jagger knows how that feels. Let's see here. I'm going to skip over the ones I did for... What was the last one? Did I talk about Olympus Has Fallen last week?
I don't think so.
What date did you go back to?
The beginning of this month. The first of this month was the first day I talked about.
Okay, I must have talked about The Watchers last week then.
I think you did.
Yeah. Okay. I started off the month watching The Autopsy of Jane Doe, one of the most slept-on horror movies of all time. And you know it's good because Jagger actually has it at a high rating. I think you have this at a 4, Jagger?
I think so.
It's really creepy. This is a horror movie that actually has some creepy moments that still
I don't have it logged, but a 4 seems about right. Yeah.
That, like, on a rewatch, there's still moments in this movie that creep me out. And Brian Cox and Emile Hirsch are a great duo. They have great chemistry. They're great together. I really enjoy them. And then I decided to check out some new stuff because I've been doing a lot of rewatches recently and a lot of stuff that just doesn't take that much brain power, and I'm feeling like getting back into good films. So, I finally checked out one of Jagger's 2024 faves, Love Lies Bleeding. I think this is my number 2 first time watch of the month. And I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I thought Kristen Stewart I'm a huge lover of Kristen Stewart, always. I think she's an incredible actress. What's his face is terrifying in this. Ed Harris. Is that it? Yeah, Ed Harris is terrifying in this movie. Dave Franco is really good at playing a douchebag piece of shit. Really, really great film. The style of this film I really enjoyed as well. And I'm looking forward to more of Rose Glass's movies as she comes out with them. Because I really enjoyed this one. Jagger, how's my volume? Am I too loud or am I...
No, you're good.
I'm good? Okay. And then I followed that up because I want to start going through the James Bond movies. So I followed it up with the OG Bond movie, the original from 1962, Dr. No.
Yeah!
And when I tell you this movie ripped, I mean it rips. Sean Connery is just the coolest man alive. I mean, there's the classic, what's your name? It's Bond. James Bond. You know, I'm excited to get... up to this point, the only other Bond movie I'd seen was Casino Royale, the first one with Daniel Craig. So I'm excited to get into more of them. I really enjoyed this one. I just like spy movies. I think they're cool. Already talked about Monkey Man. I watched a horror movie that was pretty big on TikTok for a little bit. Like, this is one of the creepiest horror movies. I watched Possum.
Oh, was it any
I don't.
good?
It was okay. It was definitely very creepy and very unsettling, but I had a lot higher expectations. It's also, I would recommend watching this with subtitles because they have very strong British accents, and I couldn't understand a word they were saying for half the movie. I had to turn on subtitles halfway through the movie because I was like, I don't know what you guys are saying. So I would definitely, Jagger, I think this is one you might enjoy. So I would definitely check it out. I don't know how I feel about it. So I have it at a 3, right down the middle.
Fair enough.
Okay. Then I watched Bernie. This is a Richard Linklater film starring Jack Black. I just have to read the synopsis. In small town Texas, affable and popular mortician Bernie Teedy strikes up a friendship with Marjorie Nugent, a wealthy widow well known for her sour attitude. When she becomes controlling and abusive, Bernie goes to great lengths to remove himself from her grasp. This movie is just goofy. It's ridiculous. Jack Black obviously had a blast making this. It's really odd. Jagger, I think you'd be really into this movie. I don't know what your opinion on Linklater is.
I love Richard Linklater, but you just unlocked like this memory. Dude, I forgot this movie existed. The last time I'd heard about this was they sold the DVD of this movie at my grocery store when I was younger. And
Dude,
that's the only way
that's where I remember it from too.
Wait, are you
DVDs at the grocery store. I was like, oh, Jack Black, that must be funny.
Yeah, they sold this and Downsizing, and those were the only 2 movies they ever sold.
That is a wild combo.
So,
but I like this. Jagger, I think you'd like it a lot. It's fun. It's wild that this is a true story, which I didn't realize until the very end where they showed the actual pictures of these people.
It's a true story?
Yeah. So Jagger, definitely check this one out. It's filmed in like a mockumentary kind of style. It's very good. I quite enjoyed it. Chinatown we'll talk about in a sec. Muppets Most Wanted. I've always been pretty public about the fact that I love is it 2010 that Muppets movie came out? 2011 with the Muppets movie with Jason Segel and Amy Adams. I think that's a perfect film. I love it. It is highly rewatchable. It's funny. I just love the Muppets. Banging soundtracks. Manor Muppet might be one of the greatest songs of all time. So I decided to give a rewatch to the second one. Definitely doesn't hold up to the first one, but it's still banging. Banging music. Banging cast, Ricky Gervais and Tina Fey taking up leading roles in this movie, Ty Burrell taking up a leading role. I don't know if you've seen this, Jagger, but there's this bit where Sam the Eagle, the Muppet, is an FBI agent, and Ty Burrell is like an MI6 agent or Interpol agent, and they like have a competition on who has the bigger badge. And they were like, oh, this is just my travel badge. Look at... And then, like, Ty Burrell rips his shirt open, and it's just a badge. And he's just like, look at this badge! And it's really dumb, but it's really funny. And then the last one I'll talk about right now, I watched Straight Outta Compton for the first time last night. I really liked it. I'm a big fan of NWA, specifically Ice Cube. I love Ice Cube as an actor and a rapper. My review says, if I had a penny for every time Paul Giamatti played an abusive manager that takes advantage of musicians, well, I'd only have 2 pennies, but it's still weird that it happened twice. because he plays basically the same character in Love and Mercy, the biopic about Brian Wilson, which I would highly recommend to any. This is shout out to Love and Mercy. Incredible biopic. Paul Dano, John Cusack, Elizabeth Banks, Paul Giamatti, just a stacked cast. And Brian Wilson was the brains behind the Beach Boys. If you guys didn't know, the greatest pop band of all time. Yes, that includes the Beatles. They were better than the Beatles. Sue me. But yeah, we're going to get into our reviews of the day because I can tell Jagger's fading and I am fading. So we're going to get into it. Elephant, IMDb for the day. Let's talk about Elephant Man. Jagger, was this a rewatch for you?
Yes, it was, and I was not happy about rewatching it.
Give us your opening thoughts.
My opening thoughts, if you told me this was David Lynch's best film, I wouldn't fight you on it. I mean, I would fight you on it, because Eraserhead, in my opinion, is a little bit better, but still, I think it's fantastic. Anthony Hopkins, great. John Hurt, great. Anne Bancroft, great.
Who does Anne Bancroft play?
Mrs. Kendall.
Who's Mrs. Kendall again? Is she like the head nurse or whatever?
I believe so, yeah. And I can't remember the character's name, but the guy who abuses John Merrick, also, he played it. I hated him, but he was great in it. This movie made me sob like a small child. I think it is extraordinarily acted, extraordinarily written, extraordinarily directed, extraordinarily shot. The use of black and white is really perfect. The visuals just great. I mean, this is an incredibly heartbreaking film, but an incredibly important piece of cinema. Like, this is really a fantastic display of what a great film can look like.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're talking, like, objective, what makes a film great, this is a perfect film. But I have it at a 97 out of 100, because I don't like watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. This was my first watch of this film. I didn't know this was David Lynch. As far as... I think this is the perfect intro to Lynch because it's his most easy to follow.
Yeah.
I think this might be my favorite Lynch. I think this shows the extremes of the human condition, the extreme kindness that humans can display, but also the extreme evil and the extreme terribleness.
Yeah.
I think this is a really beautiful movie. John Hurt's performance in this brought me to tears. I mean, I cried during this.
Yeah.
If you don't cry during this, you don't have a soul.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And if you don't cry when he comes over to Anthony Hopkins' house for the first time and is like, "Oh, I love the way you do the pictures on your mantle. Does everybody do that?" If you don't cry during that, you have no soul. It's so... The movies were like you're just watching John Merrick experiencing these things for the first time and experience people like treating him like a human being and not as a monster. It's just so wholesome, and he is so sweet. And God, dude, this whole movie, I just wanted to jump through the screen and give him a big hug. Just be like, you are loved. You are perfect the way you are. You know? And
that scene in the house.
It's so heartbreaking because you realize how shitty he's been treated his whole life because of the way he looks. Yeah. I don't want to dwell on this too much because I'll get real sad.
Me too.
That's not the vibe for tonight. But incredible movie. Belongs higher up on this list.
This should be top 100, in my opinion.
1000%. I totally agree. Yeah. Next, Chinatown. I'm going to keep this spoiler free because Jagger has not seen it yet, and he needs to because I know he would like it. Chinatown. This movie is immaculate. Jack Nicholson puts on a hell of a performance, as he usually does. Faye Dunaway is excellent. They are a great duo. Really, all that I can say without spoilers is that Jack Nicholson is in this just being his charismatic self. There's one scene in this movie that Jagger will talk about once you watch it and finish it that makes me die laughing. And I bet when you watch it, you can point it out because it is so comedically funny. But yeah, this definitely belongs in here. It belongs higher. I think this is a top 50 movie of all time. There's so many iconic shots here. Just an incredible film. Sorry, I have a really sore throat right now because there's fires going on here, and so it's really smoky outside.
Oh, gotcha.
Next up, I don't think, Jagger, did you watch either of the Carpenter movies?
No.
You can't keep doing this. We've watched Gone with the Wind. We've watched Bellatar. You can't keep doing this. I know you have time because you log all this other stuff.
I watched half of The Fog. And I was really liking it, but I did not have time.
You can't miss any more of them.
I won't. I'm not doing this intentionally. I'm not.
I trust you. I know. This week, The Fog and Elvis. I'll start with The Fog. If you're just getting into Carpenter and you've seen like the big ones, Escape from New York, They Live, The Thing, Halloween, this is a great one to check out. Super solid ghost pirate thriller. I had a blast with it. I think it's really interesting. I love when movies just take place over a few hours, and this just takes place over one night. It's a really, the way I felt about this is it's like The Goonies, but if John Carpenter directed The Goonies starring adults. And I really like this one. Definitely go check it out. Next up, Elvis. Now this is hard to find. If you want to find it online, you're going to have to sail the 7 seas.
Or buy the Shout Select Blu-ray.
Yeah, I bought
physical media.
I bought the DVD.
You did?
Amazon. Because I wanted to have it. And
is it really that good?
To be quite honest with you guys, I'm glad I bought the DVD. If you go into it knowing that this is a TV movie, so the production value isn't going to be super high, it's better than Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. Much better.
Well, yeah, but that's saying much.
I think Kurt Russell gives a better performance in this than Austin Butler did in that. It goes on a little long. It's like 2 hours, 45 minutes. It goes on a little longer than I would have liked. But I had a good time with it. It kept me engaged. The storytelling was great. John Carpenter's directing was great. 4 stars, I think I gave it. 3.5 or 4, I can't remember. It's definitely worth a watch. If you're looking for a good Elvis biopic and you don't want to watch Baz Luhrmann's piece of shit, go check this out. It's awesome. Kurt Russell's in it. Kurt Russell's dad is in it. Yeah, he plays like Elvis's dad in the movie. Yeah, Kurt Russell has the most fierce jawline in this movie. It is insane. But yeah, that is the average film enjoyer for today. Yeah. We're going to cut it here because I can tell Jagger's 3 hours ahead of me. And I don't know, so it's like 11:15
and I need to wake up at 6.
Yeah, so we're going to cut it here. But we thank you for joining us today on the Average Film Enjoyer. We hope you will join us next time. Yeah, y'all have a good rest of your day or night whenever you're listening to this.